Are you thinking about E85 on your Gen 3 Raptor or F-150? Are you wondering, is this worth it? Maybe this will answer it for you. I'm Mike from MPT, and this is a 2023 Raptor 3.5 liter Ecoboost. This is one of those that you're going to want to watch until the very end. It's going to be a fun one. We're doing a PCM swap, a colder set of plugs, and some bigger port injectors. You know what that means. Now, the owner, Ramiro, also had a few things done himself, so we're going to check over everything. But the list he had already was a Cobb intake, the handy-dandy Cobb scoop bracket hold-down thingamajigger. He also has a CV-FAB intercooler, factory location, as well as CV fabrication, hot and cold side pipes. He's got some turbo inlet tubes. Pretty nice list. We've got some goals in mind for this, but a lot of work was done to the truck in a lot of crucial areas. So before we get started, we're gonna go ahead and do a smoke test. We're gonna check all the couplers and junctions over, make sure we're not leaking any boosts that we're gonna be needing very soon here. All right, so we are ready to do the smoke test. We have James on the smoke. This is a completely redneck backyard smoke tester. It's a paint can with a wire element that we hook up straight to the battery. It starts to smoke. Then we've got it hooked up to the air compressor. We're hitting it with the same amount of boost that you would see. So it's about, between 20 and 30 PSI. We regulate it down. We're gonna be turning it on and then watching from all corners. We got Josh below here with the flashlight. He's gonna be looking for leaks. I'm gonna be looking above here for leaks, and we are about ready. So Josh, it's gonna be pretty quick. You ready? Go. All right, let's go ahead and turn it on. So now we've got smoke flowing into the CVF, or actually no, where did we decide?
Throttle inlet pipe.
Yeah, there's a few different choices. We're pumping into like a meth nozzle. So now we're looking, scanning everywhere. And if you're doing a smoke test looking for a boost leak, this is how you need to do it. Whether you're using some expensive snap-on tool or a backyard kit, the attention is what matters. How we looking down there, Josh?
Good so far.
I'm not seeing any smoke yet.
Not seeing anything.
So at some point, it's going to start circulating back, and it should go all the way through the intake. And that's when we know if we see it there and we haven't seen any smoke yet, then we're pretty good. Throttle body looks good. Looking at the turbocharged pipes, those look good. I'm not seeing any smoke coming off. Can you give the nipple a little, remove it a little bit and see how much smoke we're pumping through? Yep, quite a bit. All right, tap it off. So that's what we're looking for. I think so far we are looking pretty, oh yep, I'm getting smoke out. Come take a look at this. So you can see the smoke creeping out through here. And that's basically the end of the line. So that means it made it through everything. Went from the intake charge pipe to the intercooler, back through the turbos, and it's coming out here. And we haven't seen. Yep, now I'm getting it out of the bottom of the intake box over here. Yeah, we're good. You can turn it off. Is that completely closed, the valve?
No. I was disconnecting power first.
All right. And that's how we do a smoke test. So if you are questioning from a data log, we're working with you, and you need to get that done, that's how you do it. So the spark plugs that we're going with are the step colder 𝗿𝗫 ruthenium 95605 plug. There's a lot of talk about the Gen 3 trucks not having this tapered seat right here. And it is true that the plugs that Ford puts in are a flat seat plug. However, it is not true that the head is a different design. The head is still tapered, and these will still fit into the Gen 3 head. If you're running power like we plan to, you're gonna need a plug like this, and it's gonna need to be gapped down. So for this application, we are going to use this gapping tool. We're going to gap them down to 0.25. All 6 plugs are gapped down to 0.025. and they're ready to go in. So we're going through this install, and we haven't been documenting everything step by step, but we came to a part of the process that seems to come up frequently in questions of people who are doing the injector install themselves. So James, what is it that the customers are asking?
So they're installing the injector and finding that the retaining clip does not fit in the same direction as factory, and that's true. The solution I suggest, there's two. You have two options. The easier option, and it'll work just fine,
Let's take a look at it.
is take the clip where it normally fits this way, but instead just slide it right over like this. And it still serves its purpose. It clips here to the rail, and it clips here to the injector, and it keeps the injector in place while you're installing it. After the rail's installed with the injectors in place, they're not going anywhere anyway, so this doesn't hurt anything. I suggest just doing it like this. Alternatively, if you want this for some reason to be in its original location where it's turned this way, you can do that, but then you have to take this harness mount, disconnect it, and that way this will reach. You don't need to do that, but if you want to, you can modify it that way. I prefer the other way because if we get another look here, remove it, turn it, we can maintain the factory harness position, which keeps installation the same, doesn't change any variables, and it works.
All right, cool. So a quick FAQ on that. We are almost done with the ID 1050 install. We'll see what's next. Hey, it's the next day now. So I want to kind of catch you up on where we are at the moment. We spent a ton of time on the spark plugs, and for a good reason. There was some intense testing on spark plug positioning per cylinder. We have a whole bunch of stuff mapped out. We're probably going to make a different video about that, but super cool stuff that we learned, and I think it's going to be worth it. We got the injectors installed, and there was a bunch of dirt, like just caked all in the back. Oh, and coolant. So, you know, during the injector install, that adds time to clean everything up, get that coolant out of there. The thermostat, as mentioned earlier, was done very recently, so I'm guessing that's where it came. Hopefully, right? So part of the process was getting that cleaned up, which we did. And then around the fuel rail, injector, and just everywhere was a thick dirt, like sand. Oh, and the wasp nest. Yesterday, early in the day, we had seen a wasp like chilling right on the windshield. And then we take the engine cover off, and there's a pretty big wasp nest right there. Oh, so that's where that came from. Okay, good power. So we're past that now, and let's see. I asked Ramiro if there's any possibility we could have him pick it up on Friday, but doesn't sound like there is.
Okay.
Morning, Dwayne. So I'm here early because we're definitely against the clock. So right now I'm installing the stock with modifications tune, which is a stock a thermostat, intercooler shutters, injectors. I think that's it. That's going to be our baseline tune. So pretty much everything that you want to make it run. So we can get it from here, move it over to the dyno. So you have to forgive me if I sound sleepy or look sleepy. We were here pretty late. Oh, continue. So this is actually the first time I'm flashing it. The new tuner out of the box. So it's going to save the stock file. The first time is always the longest. I'm going to let that run. And if there's anything else I can think of that I want to update you, I'll go ahead and make another clip for that. But we'll see what's next. All right, so let's go ahead and check the first start. Just see how it feels. Feels pretty good. So I first met Ramiro at a firm event held by Tor, and we got to talking a little bit after that over email, you know, probably a few phone calls here and there to the guys about power goals and plans and whatnot. Ramiro actually had a very clear plan, and that was to steal the self-proclaimed stock turbo highest horsepower Raptor, which came in at 552 horsepower. So anytime somebody comes to us with a goal like that, or anything, whether it's 0 to 60 or quarter mile, that's a different category approach for us. Because our most common approach with customers is, I've got a stock truck, there are several things I don't like about it, and I want to improve it, I want to get more power out of it, and we deliver that on a daily basis. You know, it's super safe power, super fun. Not to say this isn't safe, but this is a different category. It's a personal goal for the customer, and you know, it's exciting. So that's why I'm so freaking out about the timeline here, because the series of events today is baseline stock, what we have in now. Tune it for 93 octane. With this setup, you know, that's a combination that people like to use. This is basically a full bolt-on with stock turbo, 93 octane. There's going to be a lot of you that are interested in the power results, so that I wanted to really take my time with and deliver it. Then we have to drain the 93 out of the tank, we have to fill it up with the 85, and we have to start over and then go for that record. So it's 8 o'clock right now. He's going to be picking it up sometime early afternoon. Let's see what happens here. All right, so we're pulling on the dyno now. It is a close fit, but we're good. So now we want to check that back corner, just see how much we're overlapping. That seems like a lot of space. All right, go ahead. Okay, let's finish getting it strapped down. We just got done strapping it down and we are about ready to go. And here comes Josh. Josh, say good morning. All right, so we are ready to go. This is still pretty intense for me. Anytime I'm up against a deadline like this, you know, anxiety starts going. So let's get started. Stock baseline, we'll see what kind of power it puts down. So that was the first stock hit. That was actually pretty impressive, and I am definitely gonna need my earmuffs from here on out. Holy crap, that thing is loud. So the power, check this out, super impressive. This is completely stock 93 octane. I'm gonna hit a couple more times, same thing, just really establish the baseline. Once we get an average of 3, we're ready to move on to 93 octane PRX tuning. 93 octane PRX tuning. The initial 93 PRX tune is complete, and we made our first run. And in that tune, I intentionally made it as vanilla as possible, even not making some usual changes that I might make if somebody told me they had these modifications on the truck. I really wanted to see, like, what's our normal, pretty much off-the-shelf 93 PRX tune do with this setup. So let's take a look at the results, and we can also look at the stock comparison. Not bad at all. 492 horsepower, 557 torque. And that's those 3 runs right above. That's the stock 392, 389, 375, 469, 469, 453. Take a look at the gap. That is super nice, very clean. And I've already reviewed the data log. We got V2 going in. And this would be more what I would expect. You know, if you told me you had intercooler, hot and cold pipes. So this V2 is going to be more set up for, if you had told me this is your setup matching what's on this truck, this is what I'd give you pretty much out of the gate. So let's see what that ends up with. Was our 93 PRX V2 tune, adjusted pretty much, you know, what I would do for those modifications. And check out these differences. I'm seeing in some places 25 horsepower gain from V2 over V1. And then for the stock comparison, we'll take a look at it. This is only one stock comparison. I chose the highest stock run. Out of the 3 stock runs that we did, they just went down in power. So for comparisons on this, I'm gonna stick with the highest 392, 469. But check out this gap here between this, what color is that called? Teal? I don't know. Right in that 4,500 RPM range, that's about 25 horsepower. Some spots up top, you can see it's pretty much none, but then it has more. I'm gonna make some more changes, see what we can get here, but that's a nice difference from 1 to 2. You've got to see this. This is my perspective of a dyno pool on this 23 Raptor. Check this out. So a lot's been going on since the last time I did a video update. Tons of dyno pools, working on 93, and pretty much we would make a little bit more power in one area, lose a little power, and you know, balancing that out, spending a lot of time on 93, actually too much time. And with the deadline and crunch and whatnot, we decided, look, we already have a really good pool. We're just being overly picky here. So we went with the smoothest, cleanest power graph 493, decided that's a wrap, and went ahead and drained the tank. Took out the 93, got it filled up with E85, and started to be able to have some fun. So E85 in the tank, out of the gate, you know, we built our first tune and holy crap, this is what we're talking about. This is what we wanted to see. Super happy with the results. Let's take a look at the dyno hit for that. And let's talk about the numbers. All right, first let's go ahead and take a look at the 93 Octane PRX tune versus stock. Check out the dyno graph here. All right, again, looking at the highest stock pool we made, 392, you could see 500 horsepower, 564 pound-feet of torque. Look at that gap, absolutely incredible. So these numbers are peak to peak. What is the biggest value in the entire curve compared to the biggest value of the other curve? So if you look at that, you know, you can find smaller areas, but then you can also find bigger areas where at that RPM band, the gains are intense. Huge, huge gains. Let me try to focus in on one of those and show you an example. So right there, that's 115 horsepower. That's at 5100. Wow. At 6,000 RPM, that's 125 horsepower over stock. And at 4,000 RPM, that's about 81 horsepower over stock. So look at those differences. Absolutely incredible. And this is 93 octane PRX tune compared to stock with modifications. One part I forgot to update from earlier is we did get more time with the vehicle. It started where Ramiro said, you know, he had made some arrangements to make this happen and he needed to get it back Thursday. So I pretty much said, look, tell me what the absolute latest time I need to be done by and I'll make it happen. We'll just figure it out. After that, he changed his mind and said, look, I don't want to cut any corners and let's just, if you need it another day, you need another day. And so he's actually going to Uber here to pick it up. We are on the third day. We are completely done. This thing feels amazing. I can tell you for sure. So we're about to tell Ramiro that we did not make his 552 horsepower goal. Let's see what he says.
How's it going, man?
What's up, Ramiro?
Did I interrupt the filming?
No, you're a part of it.
Oh, geez. Okay.
This is Ramiro.
This was unexpected. How you guys doing?
Doing good, doing good. I know you came with a specific goal in mind.
I did.
Do you remember what that was?
To try to get the highest horsepower stock turbo Raptor.
Yeah. So with that in mind, it was 552.
Okay.
And we tried really hard
Okay.
to get there.
All right.
I mean, we couldn't exactly pull it off, but we got really close.
That's not true. That's not true.
No. Okay.
So I want to show you
Sure.
what we did.
Okay.
All right, so come up here, watch your step. And so here's where we ended up.
Wow.
So we didn't exactly make your goal of
Okay. And it wasn't quite what you just showed me either. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I had guesstimated you were gonna get close to that, and I don't know if you're holding out for content purposes, but I didn't expect you to get that close.
So sorry to play a joke on you, but we
Yeah.
just kind of wanted to see what you did.
I'm blown away, honestly, and I figured, I was like, there's something he's cooking up. I'm like, he's holding back information. He's not saying a
Right.
lot on the email, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and like thus far, you've been like probably more informative than I would have expected. You mentioned things that I didn't even know was possible with the tuning. So, Jesus.
So this is actually the best run stock. Decent power.
Okay.
Absolutely stock power. 392. So 392 horsepower. That was the best power it made stock. We made
Okay.
3 different runs. But for this, with your, you know, what we consider full bolt on,
Right.
that's good. That's great power. That's why your 0 to 60 was pretty decent for
Right.
stock.
I think it was mid fives or so.
Yeah, 5.5, which
Yeah.
is good. 93 octane, 501 horsepower.
Wow.
So-
Over 100 horsepower gain right there.
Which I was surprised because, you know, you're chipping away in our ability with the modifications.
Right.
And we're still able to
Still
get
getting on top of that.
100 horsepower from there.
Yeah. Wow.
And then 591 horsepower on the 85.
Crazy.
I could tell you, so I only did like a little quick drive there, up and down our driveway and back.
Right.
Your brakes are not it.
No, that's what I figured.
No,
I was
it-
like, I'm sure after this, I'm gonna have to expedite some Woolwoods like ASAP because
Yeah.
I even got brake fade. I think I told you at the firm towards the latter half
No,
of
I felt
the track
and,
day.
I mean, I didn't get on it at all. Like just
Right.
just a little bit of, and then feeling the brakes. I'm like, whoa, man.
Yeah,
Like if you're coming off,
I at
you
least
know.
need some pads at the very
Yeah,
least. You know,
anything.
and- yeah, something better. But okay.
But yeah,
Wow.
I've got some printouts for you and some information.
I'm definitely
So
blown
let's go ahead
away.
and step down. And here it is. Check this out. 591 horsepower, 627 torque. This is a 23 Raptor stock turbo, pretty much full bolt on. Looking good. The torque is off the chart. Holy crap, that's like 200. This is 200 horsepower over stock. And that is a wrap. This has been a super fun video going from stock to 600 horsepower, 591. But you know, let's just call it 600. Come on. 591 to the wheel. So well over 600 at the engine. Super fun project. 100 horsepower gained on 93, 200 horsepower gained on E85. This truck is incredible. 100% this is going to need new brakes because this thing does not feel good coming to a stop with all that power behind it. So that is 100% on the list. Next, if you need help building the ultimate package on your F-150 or Raptor, give us a call, 407-636-7077. Check out our website, morepowertuning.com. If this is your first time watching us, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, follow us, you know, do the whole thing. We really appreciate every single one of you. I'm Mike at MPT. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay tuned.